All right, we're looking at example 2, and we already understand that we can rewrite subtraction problems into addition problems. So example 2a. Autumn, can you read the problem the way it's written? Example 2a. 4/7. Okay, so you could totally work this problem out without what we're going to do next, but it makes it so much easier when I change the subtraction problem into addition, especially when you have a negative minus a negative. That can be very confusing. So how can I rewrite this as an addition problem? So this says find the difference, but I'm like, you know what? I'm going to find the sum, but I have to change it up. Okay, Jack, very carefully. So negative 3/5 stays the same. So it becomes plus. We get the opposite or the additive inverse of negative 4/7, which is positive 4/7. And now we're adding. So now remember those two rules we talked at the beginning, rule 1 and rule 2? Which rule are we using here? Rule 2, opposite signs. So we're subtracting the larger from the smaller. But which one's smaller, which one's larger? This is where ordering and comparing numbers from last lesson comes in. Which one's bigger? Which one has a greater absolute value?
The left.
The left. You sure about that?
I mean the right.
Okay, the right. You sure about that?
No, I mean the left. Sorry.
Okay, I mean, listen, if you're at the point where you're looking at saying, how did they know that? Or how are we supposed to figure that out? What's one way we can do it?
It's 3/5 is negative and 4/7 is positive.
Okay, yeah, so this number itself is smaller than that number, good. But which one has the smaller absolute value? Or the greater absolute value, whichever one I asked. Yes, ma'am? 3/5 has greater, or is the greater or the lesser of the two? Okay, you know what, guys? I'm going to assume I have no clue. I don't know. I can't look at this. I don't know how you're getting it. So what I can do first is here, get common denominators. What's the common denominator between these two?
35.
Okay, so I'm going to multiply this first fraction by 7/7, which is really just 1. So 7/7, and I guess I'll just write 7/7. So we get negative 21/35, and this by 5/5, so we'll get 20. Oh, guys, the difference was 1/35. So which one has a greater absolute value? Negative 3/5 by 1/35. Go ahead.
Can you cross multiply?
These two right here?
The top is like 3 times 7.
Yeah, you could do 3 times 7 is 21, 5 times 4 is 20. So you see how you're getting the numerators, and then you can compare it. Good, yeah, that's tying in cross products. All right, so here, these have opposite signs. So what's the rule? You subtract the greater minus the lesser, or you say you subtract the lesser from the greater. And so we're left with 1/35. And is that positive or negative? Negative. So this equals negative 1/35. As I was thinking about this during lunch and walking to lunch, I think about what are we going to go over? And I'm thinking the biggest problem is not going to be that you cannot do this. Like, I'm pretty sure all of you can get common denominators. It's simply going to be you put the wrong sign, or you multiply one little number incorrectly and it throws your whole answer off. Be careful. Be careful. That's all I'm asking you. Please, Swivl, please record this. Be careful, because you guys are all capable of it, but I want to make sure you get to this final answer here. That's for A. B, now you're dealing with, decimals. And B, Maggie, read that problem, please, for me.
-6.24
8.52. Sometimes the smart board plays a joke on me. Okay, so negative 6.24 minus 8.52. Okay, this problem, again, can be done just like it is, but it's not super clear. Why don't I just change it to addition and make it very clear? So somebody else tell me how to make this into an addition problem. I want addition. Lily Mooney, I see that hand.
Well, you
Okay, so you change subtraction to addition, and you get the additive inverse. And, oh, this is so easy. Which rule am I using for addition? Rule number 1, which says you add the absolute values. What sign is it going to keep? Negative. It's just an addition problem. Wait, it's subtraction. It's also known as addition, if you could see it there. So it's really 6.24 plus 8.52. Don't forget to line up your place values. 6, 7, 14, decimal point. And it's a negative. Sorry, do not forget the negative. That's it. Example 4, we're just going to go run through this really quickly. Example 4 is just like the first two, just like the first two, except they give you the algebraic expression, and you have to substitute the values in for those variables. Okay, so I'm skipping example 3, and I'm going to example 4. Evaluate p minus 3.5. P minus 3.5. What does p equal in that example?
3.5. Or negative.
Negative 3 point what? Negative 3. 2.8. You see that? So I'm looking at example 4a. Evaluate p minus 3.5 if p equals 2.8. So instead of p, I'm going to put 2.8 minus 3.5. And you can do it this way as well. Or you could change it to addition. So how would you change it to addition? 2.8 plus negative 3.5. And again, you could do it this way. I'm not saying you can't, don't do it. You must change it to addition. But to see it clearly in addition, you can break it up into this. And so which rule am I using? Second rule, different sign. So what am I basically doing? Yeah, I'm taking the bigger absolute value minus the smaller, 3.5 minus 2.8. And automatically, what sign is it going to be? I already know it's got to be this. It's got to be negative. It has to be negative. But anyway, so negative 0.7, 0.7. Okay. And then you would do the same thing with example 4b. I'm just going to write the problem. I'll have you work it out. Evaluate 11/4 minus x if x equals 27/8. Okay, so all you have to do is substitute it in. 11/4 minus 27/8. Okay, so I'm looking at that. I'm saying, okay, I can change it to addition. I've done that before. That's hopefully no problem. They're opposite signs, but which one's worth more? Whatever it takes you to figure it out, do it. But which one? Is 11/4 the greater absolute value, or is 27/8 the greater absolute value? Okay, 27/8 is the greater absolute value, so you're going to do 27/8 minus 11/4, and you can do that, again, vertically or horizontally. I'm going to keep that the same, minus 22/8, and then I get 5/8. That's my answer. That's my answer? What? Sorry, I didn't mean to yell. What? Oh, yeah. I probably shook up this panel a little bit. I apologize. Okay. You guys get it? Be careful. And I do this because I want you to do well. I don't want a paper that has -5 off because you just didn't do it carefully. I know you guys can do it. It's just you're going to have to apply yourself and take it easy and don't rush. Okay, Swivl, we are ending this discussion. Thank you for joining us again.